Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your fearless host, Angie Scott.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast. Doing something a little different this week. We had an awesome setup out here at Four Corners RV Park. We had the Lance Truck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio out there, and I thought, what a great opportunity to invite someone out and do an awesome on-the-scene interview from the mobile podcast studio. So Annie Klaver came out, drove all the way from East Nashville, came to the truck camper. We had an awesome conversation, and the recording got lost. I have no idea what happened. And on top of that, I videoed it as well. And I'm like, okay, well, at least we have the video and I can take the audio from that. Well, no, I still had my settings on the loop feature, which I use when I'm fishing. And so I only got the last 5 minutes of our conversation.
Which was great. I'm sure that was great.
It was such a good interview. And so here we are, holiday. Annie's got a busy day today with all her charters, and we'll talk about that. But she was kind enough to give me a few minutes this morning to kind of do a redo, and so we have something to put out tomorrow. So Annie, thank you so much.
Angie, it's a pleasure. And what we were talking about before, Mercury's retrograde right now. We kind of expect communications to go funky. And, you've got a picture of us out at the camper.
Yes.
So there is proof.
Yeah.
There is proof that this happened already.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, give us a little background on you and how you got to Tennessee and Nashville and starting your River Queen Voyages, kayak charters.
Yeah, it's a river adventure company. It used to be kayaks, but now it's
that's right.
More. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I'm originally from Wisconsin. I went to teach in France after college, which is a little bit unusual, which landed me in a corporate job in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And so I've sort of an unusual path to get to Nashville, but that company had headquarters in Nashville and LA. And so I moved to Nashville sight unseen in 2005. And I think we were talking about before, people would tell me, oh, I've been here 10 years. I was like, I'll never stay in Nashville for that long. And it's now I'm working on year 16 right now. So I love it here. I worked in the corporate world, Music Row, which, we talked about being in the music industry with you being at CAA, and moved to video production, which was owned by AOL. And, by the time I hit my mid 30s, I was burnt out. I started waitressing when I was 15 and kind of never stopped. So I was living in a house on the river in Madison, Tennessee, and kind of unlike me to quit without a plan, but I just took my kayak out in the backyard, and just got back in touch with that part of me that used to just go outside and not come back until it was dark, and that inner child that doesn't want to sit behind a computer and wants to be outside, and sort of healed myself and kind of put myself back together through the water and through nature. And I was like, wow, I really want to be able to provide this service to people in Nashville. There were no downtown outfitters. So started that in 2015, and it was just me and a trailer and a church van, and I'm 5'2". So if you wanted a kayak on the trailer, you had to help me do it. So very humble beginnings, and kind of grew it ever since.
Yeah.
This is season 7 right now. And we have a boat now. So, sort of saved up all along, and have a Pedal Pontoon boat, which is essentially a pedal tavern on the river. 16 passengers, got a master captain and a deckhand, and we are doing our first weekend in downtown Nashville this weekend.
Awesome.
So it's kind of great timing.
Yeah, really. Well, yeah, and that was quite a process to get that pedal pontoon going. I'm sure a lot of things you had to go through to get approval and all of that, right?
Oh, it was a 2-year process, Angie. Yeah, 2-year process that ended last Wednesday. I about fell on the floor when I got that email. But that's kind of how my brain works. I sort of have an idea, and it's never a straight line to get where I'm going, but I learn a lot along the way, and sort of meet different characters along the way, and sort of see how we can get there. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're a woman who kind of does the same thing,
Yep.
right? There's a level of curiosity, I think, a level of grit, and a level of just perseverance, right? To just kind of get these things done. There were a lot of people who would come up to me and say, "Oh, I had that idea too." I'm like, "Yeah, well, where's your boat?" Because it was really hard to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It sounds so easy, but then when you actually start, doing it, I had that with, I did pontoon karaoke charters last year, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, and I get an email from the marina, and they're like, you can't operate a business out here without a sublease agreement. And I was like, what? And so I had to do a sublease agreement with the marina and the Corps of Engineers in order to be able to do charter. And it's like just all this stuff. It's
there's layers. There's layers, Angie.
Yeah, exactly. And
I get it. I get it. It's for safety, and ours is a U.S. Coast Guard approved vessel, and we need to have the right people on there. And I'm not saying it's not. I understand why, and it can be kind of hard to navigate it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I see these posts. Somebody's like, "Oh, I've got this food delivery business out on the water. It sounds like such a great idea. You like a Uber Eats, but for people out on the lake." But
yes.
I'm like, do you realize all the things you got to do on the back end to make that happen? So
yeah, and it's people like us make it look easy, right?
Right.
And that's part of the fun of being an entrepreneur, I think, is sort of figuring all that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, I just had a moment this weekend where it's so fun, like the sunset cruise that we do. It's at 6:15, so it's still light out, but then by the end of the cruise, like the LED rainbow lights are on the boat, and everybody's just like, the music's on, and everyone's just having a good time. And I'm like, yes, like this is why I do what I do, right? Like this is, and same with the kayaks. It's, yesterday we were sold out on kayaks, and people were just we had a beautiful day yesterday.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm doing this both for the person I used to be and the people who need that now. So like, that's what drives me, is just, I want to be able to give people an easy, safe, affordable way to have fun downtown on the water, and draw attention to the river, right? Because it's generally not been a recreational river, the Cumberland downtown. And the more that we see it, the more that we use it, more we'll take care of it, right? And have it be something that future generations can enjoy as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so important to always keep your why in mind, when you're putting in all this hard work to make things happen. So that's awesome. And it's a good reminder to me too, because I'm out here all the time. And so sometimes I get to start taking for granted, just people that don't have the ability to be out here all the time, and it's such a precious thing for them to be able to come out and escape on the water and just relax and forget about all the life's troubles that we all have, and and we have a similar story. I worked in the music business for 16 years, as long as you've been here, and I got to the point where I was like, I love working in the music business and the people and going backstage for concerts and hanging out, and but my day-to-day job was sitting behind a desk from 9 to 6:30 every day. And I was just like, I'm just such an outdoors person. It just started really grinding on me, and at some point that's what led me to start this podcast and start trying to shift and see how I could move into a career that's in the outdoors. And now I'm so blessed. So I appreciate talking to you and reminding me, where I came from and taking that leap and doing something, that I really am passionate about, which now I'm working for Freedom Boat Club, which we talked about when you came out the other day. So, great.
And it's not easy, right? It's not, it's seasonal. We're weather dependent and it's a relatively male dominated field.
Yep.
So, there's that extra layer of like, yes, I do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I definitely have done this for years. And so, I have to hang on to my why. I have to. It's really important. And like you said, you really touched on something there that, Americans are generally so busy and they have so little free time. So I really, take responsibility and want to make sure that, like, yes, you're spending your time, you're choosing to spend your time and your money with me. Like, I want to make sure that you show up and it is a seamless process. Like, sign your waiver and you will have fun for the next 1 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
But it's sacred to me. I really do believe that. And I'm confident in what we do, but I never forget about our responsibility in that too.
That's awesome. Well, so you guys offer several different trips, but one of the things we talked about the other day was the scavenger hunt. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. It's so fun. So we do a kayak scavenger hunt on the river. It goes from Shelby Park in East Nashville to downtown. So it's 3 miles on the river, but there's an app that we use where it's GPS. So once your kayak comes up to a certain point that we've tagged on the river, the points will automatically go into the app and tally it for you along the river. So you can go upriver for more points. Like obviously paddling upriver is more difficult. So the points upriver are higher. And then the first person to make it to downtown, there's a QR code, which I'm not going to tell you where it is, Angie, don't ask me, but there's a QR code downtown once you finish. And once you scan that, then whoever has the most points at the end gets a River Queen prize pack. And I love it because, like, I just want kids to come out and do it. I want, grown-ups who remember doing scavenger hunts to come do it. It's great for team building. It's just one of my favorite things we're doing. Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. And I'm going to share links to your website and social media and also post a picture of this cool pedal pontoon that you've got.
Thank you.
People can check that out. Is there anything else we didn't cover that you want to mention? I know we flew through this.
Yeah, we really did. We had a practice round, Andy.
We did, yeah. You're right. Maybe I should do that all the time.
I know it. I just want to say that I'm grateful to be a small business owner in this town. I feel like it's given so much to me. And when I got here, I didn't think that, I was never like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and, do all this stuff. But I think Nashville's unique in the way that people genuinely, in my experience in the business community, genuinely want to help other people and see them succeed. And I think that is really the secret sauce of our town. It can be across different verticals. Someone from the music industry could be helping someone in the healthcare industry, could be helping someone in the outdoors industry. But, I've come to really appreciate the nature of the community here. And I find that on the lake as well. We had a captain who got in touch with us from another company who was in trouble and needed help. And there was someone from the Percy Priest Boaters group who stepped in to help. I really have come to love and appreciate the community here. And so I just really want to say that I'm just proud and grateful to be here and to be able to do what I love and feel supported by the community. So yeah, I'm just feeling the love today.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, and I wanted to ask you real quick before we wrap up. Were you affected by the big flood that we had back in 2010?
Yes, I lived in East Nashville with my former husband, and we had a sump pump in the basement that I didn't know we had. So, oh my gosh. Was I ever happy to see that in the corner of the basement? But yeah, we spent the day bailing out the basement with, 5-gallon Home Depot buckets and saved the HVAC unit by about, 2 inches. So yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah. I was actually in Englewood, so very close to East Nashville there. And I had water that got in they had added on a garage and converted it to a master bedroom, and in the back half of it was where the water heater was and stuff, and water had gotten in there up above the pilot light for the water heater and whatnot. But I mean, it wasn't anything terrible, but and that was just from rain. It's not like we had water flowing in from, the river or something. It was just the rain. Right. Was crazy. But I didn't know if you mentioned you lived on the river in Madison. I didn't know if you were there at that time.
No, I bought that house right after it flooded. And it's so interesting. It was a short sale when I bought it, and it was in 2013. So I think people were afraid of buying riverfront property. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it was such a deal. So nice. Yeah.
So, worked to your advantage, I guess.
It did. And then when I sold that house, I was able to buy the boat that we have now. So, just rolling that into another river thing. But, nice. Yeah, but I'm just, so grateful to have met you too.
Yeah.
Everything I would post in any sort of group, they're like, you got to talk to Angie, or tagging Angie Scott, or, someone is like, have you talked to Angie? I was like, all right, I got to meet Angie.
Yeah, I'm so glad we met and got to meet in person. I wish we would have been able to get that interview recorded, but, everything happens for a reason, whatever
That's
reason.
Right.
So, but you've got a busy day ahead of you. It's a holiday, and this episode, as people are listening to it, is Tuesday, so the day after we did it. So
so I'm asleep right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being so accommodating, and I look forward to following your adventures with River Queen Voyages, and can't wait to see what's to come for you.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and people can find us at riverqueenvoyages.com. We've got an Instagram at River Queen Voyages. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us in all the places. Nice. So yeah, we're grateful to be a female-owned small local business here in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. Thank you so much, Annie, and I hope you have a great day.
Okay, thanks, Angie.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.